Story number 1. My great-aunt set up savings accounts for all of her female relatives. In our culture, education for women is not really valued, and she thought that was bullshit. She lived with her father in London, where she was educated. She went on to attend university and became a doctor. She married a British man, they moved to America and had a great life. She funded the education of as many of her nieces and grand-nieces as she could. When she passed away, she left money for every girl relative she could. My parents managed to access the accounts that were set up for my sister and I. They used it to pay for my brother's wedding. My sister didn't care because she got married 2 years out of high school and had no intention of going to college. When I graduated, I went to the bank to get money for school and it was almost all gone. There was like $13,000 left. I asked my parents about it and they said they had needed the money. I finally found out where the money went. I got furious. I got student loans and moved out. I am a great source of shame to them and I don't give two fucks. I am currently suing them for the money that was left for me. My entire family is against me. They all think I am a complete asshole for airing private family business in public. And that I am putting money ahead of family. My friends are all on my side, but they are all Americans and don't really get my culture. Neither do I, to be honest. My brother called me up and offered to pay for my university if I dropped the lawsuit. I agreed as long as we had a legally binding contract. He said I was being an asshole for not trusting him. I said he should not have accepted my money for his wedding. It is causing all kinds of embarrassment in our community. I am somewhat ashamed to be doing this, but I don't want to have this debt I should not have. Comment number 1. NTA. Your parents didn't borrow your money. They stole it. I hope you have all the documents to show that money was yours. Your brother is also the op for trying to get you to drop a lawsuit with what is most likely a lie. If you have a chance to start life without student debt, you do whatever you can to do that. Your parents, and I'm sorry but their culture, sound completely toxic. I'm glad you got out. Comment number 2. They all think I am a complete asshole for airing private family business in public. And that I am putting money ahead of family. No, they think you are an asshole for holding them accountable for their awful actions. They thought you would be a pushover, but you are showing them you're not. Your great-aunt would be proud of you. And you aren't the one putting money ahead of family. They did when they stole your money. They already showed you how little they think of you or respect you or love you as a family member when they screwed you over. NTA obviously. Edit, thanks for the gold. Comment number 3. NTA. Your parents and your brother had the opportunity to keep this a private matter when you told them you would sue them if they didn't return the money or pay for your schooling. Since you have already been betrayed by family members you trusted, your brother should not be offended that you want a written contract. Comment number 4. NTA. Also, your alternative to your brother was excellent. I have no idea why your brother got angry. Explicit explanation, because he is from the same family and was absolutely going to screw you over just like your parents did. I approve of absolutely every step you have done, especially dealing with your brother. Story number 2. My girlfriend just bought a house and is so excited. She invited a ton of people over for a housewarming. She put so much work into everything. The house looked amazing, and the food was delicious. Right after dinner, while my girlfriend was getting dessert, her brother proposed to his girlfriend. I was mad because he hijacked my girlfriend's event that she worked so hard for. Before she could answer, I told him to sit down and quit being so rude and disrespectful to his sister. He was mad, but his girlfriend looked so embarrassed. They ended up leaving. The party was very awkward after that. A lot of people left early. My girlfriend's mom was furious at me, because she wanted her son to stop living in sin and I ruined it. My girlfriend said I was sweet but didn't need to do that. Her brother texted me calling me a prick. Was I an asshole for telling them to have some class? Comment number 1. NTA. It is just plain rude to start hijacking events for your proposal. Oh, my sister bought a new house? Perfect situation to make sure it revolves all around my proposal. Your bill sounds like a cheapskate who thought he could get away with it. Is he normally so entitled? Comment number 2. NTA. Based off your comments alone. Your GF says she's used to her family hijacking her events, so clearly this is not a one-time thing. It seems her family uses every happy moment of hers to have the spotlight shining on themselves. I think all the YTA comments are weird. Edit, I meant all the YTA were weird to me because I assumed everyone was a creep on Reddit like me and reads people's comments. Without the context from Op's comments, it does seem like he's a slight eye instead of looking out for his GF who is always overlooked. Comment number 3. NTA. This wasn't their event. If he wanted to propose to his GF, Then he should have had the manners to ask permission of the host first as opposed to hijacking someone else's event. And of course her brother called you a prick, you called out his bad behavior. Comment number 4. NTA. Text him back telling him he's the cheap prick, piggybacking off his sister. If he didn't want people to see what a prick he is, he shouldn't have tried to use his sister's house, her party, her food, her money, her effort and her hostess ing to cheap out on a proposal to his girlfriend. Story number 3. About a month ago, my 24M parents, 55F, 57M, announced they were getting divorced. This has been quite a shock to most people as they seem to be having issues out of the ordinary. However, I have been the one privy to the information of why they are divorcing. It's because of my sister Anne, 26F. Anne is a deadbeat. She has never worked more than 14 hours a week since getting expelled from college for multiple acts of cheating and code of conduct violations 5 years ago. All she does is sit at home most days watching TV or going over to her loser boyfriend's house to get high. She feels no need to support herself and expects my parents to carry her through life. She's been in therapy since she was 14 but cannot keep one for more than a year because she gets dropped as a client due to her lying and inability to show up to appointments. My parents have spent over a decade trying to get some mental issue pinned down for Anne and all they've gotten is she's just a lazy narcissist. Last year my mom decided enough was enough and planned to kick Anne to the curb and wash her hands of her. Dad disagreed, and in the end, the two's marriage got torn apart. I know because both have come to me basically admitting that if Anne was not a factor, divorce would not even be a consideration. I don't get along with Anne for a variety of reasons. She has always been a bully and owes me a large sum of money at the moment. The thing that boils my blood though is that she's oblivious to the situation between our parents, or just doesn't care. She had a literal tantrum when the possibility of the house being sold came up because she didn't want to have to move to an apartment with my dad. Last night I found myself at my parents' house and had the misfortune of talking to Anne. Anne mentioned that she's getting really sick of my mom's melodramatic shit and not just leaving the house to her and my dad. Something struck me at that moment and I just asked Anne if she really does not care that she's such a selfish, garbage, waste of space human that she's driven her parents to get a divorce. I elaborated, and told her the full truth that she is in fact the only reason they are getting a divorce because moms finally realized that there is no hope and will ever grow up. The shitstorm this caused was massive. And acted as if I sold her out to the Romans and my parents argued between she deserves to know and we told you that in confidence. Because Anne cannot keep her mouth shut either, the entire extended family has begun to hear too. I want to know before opinions start forming outside the inner circle if I am the asshole here. Comment number 1. Nope. NTA. Sorry, some tough love is needed with Anne. Doubt she's gonna get her shit together, but she needed to hear it. Not everything is about her. Hopefully she can get her act together and be a contributing member of society and your parents can get back together with some therapy. Comment number 2. NTA at all. Truth hurts? Sometimes the truth is the only thing that will snap a person out of it. She needs to stop being a leech. I get where your dad is coming from. As a daddy's girl myself, I know my dad would have probably been the same way. As parents, we do everything in our power to love, protect, and support our children, and a lot of times the line between that and straight up enabling gets blurred. And I get where your mom is coming from. Clearly pushing your sister out on her ass and forcing her to grow up is the only solution left that has hope. I can see where this caused their split, but yeah, your sister needed to know. Your extended family's opinion doesn't really matter either. If they aren't stepping in with solutions, they don't matter. Coddling her is how it got this bad. Continuing to do so is just ridiculous. Comment number 3. NTA, but she probably doesn't care. She cares that people judge her for it, but not enough to not ruin your parents' lives. Your mother has reached the Anne has to hit rock bottom realization, and your father is willing to spend the rest of his life supporting and minding her. He is 57, what's going to happen when he gets ill? And isn't going to care, and your mother will hopefully have built a new life full of positive retirement plans. Your father, because he loves her, is willing to be dragged down the road to poverty and emotional exhaustion by her. Your mother has worked and she is entitled to comfort and security in her old age. She is still young, but most of her earning has been done by now. I'm sorry that your father is such a sweet person that he is volunteering for this. Comment number 4. NTA, your sister sounds exactly like a narcissist and likely will never be able to learn or deal with that fact. Your father has chosen to enable her and that it's a deal breaker for mom. Your sister has refused to even take therapy seriously and may have used her narcissistic traits to attempt to manipulate the therapists. That could be a big reason as to why she keeps getting dropped as a client. I have seen that happen in my mental health workplace. She likely will never ever change. Pathological narcissists are incapable of doing so even in an inpatient clinical setting. The best they can do is be made aware of their tendencies and behaviors and will only course correct if they realize that it's in their best interest, but that's so rare of a case that my clinical department director has only seen a pathological narc change behavior once in his 30-year career that was beneficial to his loved ones and not only the narc.